On this episode, we review our Father's Day weekend trip to Disney with food, fun, and friends at Caribbean Beach Resort. This is part 1. Today's June 20th, 2023. This is episode 575 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. And then if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And if you're planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World, you did not get the dining that you wanted at 60 days out, have no fear, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service.
Well, happy Father's Day, Jeremy.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Today, and happy Father's Day to all of you fathers out there that are listening. And I hope you had a wonderful day.
Yeah, we just got back. We're gonna break this little trip up into 2 days. We're gonna do today's episode will be about Friday. Then the next episode will be about our Saturday. For 2 reasons: 1, it's a good amount of information, and 2, we just got home and it's Father's Day, and I'm ready to kick up my feet and relax. So these might be a little bit shorter, but you'll get all the info that we have for the entire weekend in these 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Where did we stay? We had not stayed here since December of 2019.
That's crazy.
If you remember, we had a night booked at All Star Music. It was to see Neil Patrick Harris at the Candlelight Processional, and they had overbooked and they bumped us to Caribbean Beach. So that was actually the last time that we had stayed here. So it'd been 3.5 years, basically.
Woohoo! That's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so we stayed at Caribbean Beach Resort, and that is actually located on the Skyliner. When you turn down from Wide World of Sports, you have Art and Pop, and then you have Caribbean Beach.
Yeah.
Your cost range usually runs anywhere from $258 all the way up to $551 a night. But if you check out the Main Street Magic Travel, then they can help you out and get you maybe a better deal. Sometimes they do start running deals.
Yeah, we had and there's a lot of good summer deals. I know we've mentioned this a few times. Like, now is the time to book. And with the fall deals that just came out, we ended up on this one, I believe, was either pass holder or Florida resident rate.
Okay.
It was a little bit up there in some ways. I mean, it was $329 all in per night. Now, we were splitting with Rob and Tina. We were sharing a room, so they paid a night, we paid a night. So for us to go for an entire weekend for $329 at Caribbean Beach,
absolutely,
is great.
Yes.
This is a moderate resort.
This is
one of the few that we have. This is the Epcot area because of the Skyliner.
Correct.
This opened back in 88, October 1st, 1988.
Wow.
And it's a large resort. There's over 1,500 rooms, and it's really spread out.
Yes,
and that's probably the biggest downfall to this resort. It has that same kind of spread out resort feel that just say Port Orleans Riverside does.
Yep.
Now, I had before we went, I put in a request through Touring Plans, a room request, and I had specifically asked for Aruba. Knew we were doing Epcot, knew we were going to end up at Bar Riva. So Aruba is the closest walk to get over to that Riviera Skyliner station. It's not too bad of a walk to go around to get to Centertown Market and Old Port Royale and the pool and all. So it's a really good location.
Yes.
Right now, they're doing some refurbishments on the exterior in Jamaica. So if you can, I would steer clear of Jamaica.
Yeah.
So we got there, we checked in, we drove down that morning.
Yep.
Checked in with William.
Yep.
He
Very
was
nice.
Outstanding. And he even said, where do you have a preference of what building or whatever you want to be in? And I was like, well, I said, Trinidad isn't the room category we booked, correct? Because Trinidad used to have the pirate rooms. They've all been redone.
But they're very far away.
They're very, very far away. But we would have stayed in them just to see them. But I'm really glad we didn't stay in them because Trinidad is the furthest away you can get.
Right.
It was not the room category that we had booked. We had booked, I think it's considered standard 5th sleeper. And so I was like, well, Aruba would be great. And he was like, 1st or 2nd floor. I said, well, let's just do 1st. Don't have to bother with stairs and stuff. And he put us dead center in Aruba.
Mm-hmm.
We were in room 5220.
It was a nice room.
Perfect.
Yep.
It was absolutely great.
It was.
Talk about the room, Rhonda. These got a light refurb in 2015, but that was basically just like the draperies and the carpet. So yes, there is still carpet.
I just started to say there's still carpet.
Yeah.
So
2015 wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't.
And the rooms are wonderful.
Yeah.
But would you have ever guessed that something was done to these rooms only 8 years ago?
No.
It seems like a lot longer.
No, because too, your nice full beds or queen beds, whatever they are, unfortunately are not lifted as well to have more storage.
Yeah.
Bathroom was fine. Again, it's very close quarters in the toilet and the shower area.
Yeah.
You do have 2 sinks though, and you have a barn door. So I feel like that's nice.
Yeah. And if you stayed at, any of the resorts before a full refurbishment, the way that, Pop Century and all the All-Stars and stuff got, you have that basically it's a, what would you call it? A clothes bar, like to hang clothes. There's not, when they redid Pop and All-Stars, they gave you more of like some storage area and little cubbies and kind of little cubicle things. You don't have that. Now you do have 2 queen beds.
Yes.
You have the pull down 5th sleeper underneath the TV, which is perfect for little ones.
Right. And if you don't use that, like we didn't, it was so nice to like have a bench if you wanted to sit on or
couple drawers.
Storage.
Yeah, you got a couple drawers underneath it. Yep. You got drawers on the right under where the coffee goes. On the left opens up for the beverage cooler that they call them. So that is the glass front. Yes. I think this was probably one of the first resorts to get them. And then you do have a full table with 2 chairs.
Yes.
Which is nice. So it's a really roomy room. It's a large room. And when you think about when you first walk into the door, in our situation of the layout, the beds and all are on the right, TV's on the left. To the right is a large space. Like I'm almost surprised there isn't another end table or something there.
Yeah, I agree.
Like there's a lot of room there. I mean, so
it is very nice.
And yet if you had, because these will sleep 5. But let's just say, and that's considered 5 adult children combos, it's not counting anybody under 3. That's actually a full 5. If you had just say 5 adults sleeping in here or something, or you had 4 adults and a much older, taller kid, I think you could bring in a single air mattress and blow it up right next to that bed and fit it there, because the pull down bed's going to be small for them.
Right. And I was just going to say that, but then I was thinking maybe I shouldn't, and then honestly it'd be great for if you do have a 3-year-old and under and you don't want to have
that's where that pack and play crib goes,
or you don't have to want to worry about that, and yes, you do get a little air mattress, and then if they kind of roll off, they're not rolling off anywhere.
Rolling off an actual bed.
Yeah.
I love the layout of these rooms. I still like the rooms. Like honestly, I like it's got wicker fronts on the drawers. It is very Caribbean feeling. They could honestly come in. Now, the refurbs that they're doing in Trinidad are beautiful, and that's what they'll do across the whole resort. It'll be wonderful. But if they just simply came in and put in the laminate flooring and tore out the carpet, I think it would bring it to a completely different level.
Yeah.
And it's not like it smells outdated. It's not like, any of that type of stuff. Also, throughout several buildings, they do have the Coca-Cola Freestyle machines, and that's actually where the ice machine is.
Nice.
Guess what, Rhonda?
What?
They're making their own ice.
Ooh.
So unlike the issues we always have over at Universal. Now, I couldn't tell because it's attached to a huge metal machine next to it. I don't know if that's just the ice storage and then it dumps into the machine, or if that thing's actually making ice for the machine.
That's super cool.
But regardless, did not have an issue because I kept filling up waters and all of that. I mean, we didn't get a refillable mug, but having that was super good. And then Rob even bought some waters, big liters of water.
Yes.
And I refilled the bottle each night with more super cold water coming out of the Coca-Cola Freestyle fountain machine. So that was outstanding. But we got all checked in, and Rob and Tina are not pass holders. And they wanted to do Epcot specifically because a band that Tina loves from the 90s and 2000s, Vertical Horizon, was going to be playing the concert series. They were playing Saturday nights, and she was like, well, we'll just get a single day ticket to Epcot. They wanted to do Cosmic Rewind, and we're like, all right, we'll hang out at Epcot all day Saturday. We'll see Vertical Horizon that night, just see where the weekend takes us. Yep. And boy, did the weekend take us, like when we go through it. When you hear this, there are only 2 things in this entire weekend that we had planned ahead of time. One was to stay at Caribbean Beach, and 2 was to go to Epcot and see one of the Vertical Horizon shows. Nothing else that we're going to talk about over the course of these 2 episodes was planned. It was pretty much all last minute, just what do you want to do? I don't know what's available. But we did plan, I should say, Friday to say, all right, we're going to hang by the pool, for all day, and then we'll kind of just figure out dinner. And when we get to that point, I'd had a dinner booked. I changed it the day before. I changed it on our way down as we talked to them, and then we ended up just kind of willy-nilly doing whatever we wanted. But
we sure did.
Talk real quick about some of the cool recreation experiences and pool activities that they're doing every day. And again, these are across property. It's going to differ based on the property, but a lot of times you'll have very similar things. And we were sitting out there and got to watch some of these. A lot of them are geared towards kids, but
this was fun. Which is always your poolside activities starting at 1 p.m. going until 3 p.m. And that's your cast member that's out there and, playing games with the kids. And at one point, like Tina was like, I dare you to go get in line. And there wasn't any other adults. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to.
And the way that they're specific to the resort, for example, one of these games was 2 teams of kids lined up. They each had a coconut shell, a half in each hand. And then there was a hula hoop filled with like little shells and starfish and little seahorse type stuff, plastic ones. They had to go one at a time, scoop them up using only the coconuts, come back, put it in a bucket. Once they were all gone, they counted to see who won. So it's a lot of that type of stuff.
Super cute.
And then there was even like a contest where we all had to raise our hand based on like what favorite movies were.
That was actually like a bracket challenge.
Yeah.
Whether you knew this or not.
Yeah.
Because I know you were at the bar with Rob. And Tina and I were still hanging out over there, and it was hysterical because, so she started saying, all right, who likes The Incredibles compared to Tangled or one of them, another movie. And then you raise your hand and she counts, and then she's like, well, Tangled is moving on. And so with all that being said, she literally did like a bracket where it kind of paired each other against, and it was super fun because everybody was involved. All the adults, everybody was in the pool and just kind of like staring at her, and it was just really cool. But they do have other things like a Caribbean shell painting that runs from 6:30 to 7:30. Now these are cost worthy, where they have the Mickey tie-dye from 3:30 to 4:30, which is cost.
If I remember, that thing's only like $15 or $20.
They're not
it's
expensive.
Not bad at all.
No, absolutely.
Again, this is where you look at one of those things and you expect that to be at Disney poolside, where you get to do your own full tie-dye, and they tell you it's like $15, $20. You're surprised because they could probably charge twice as much and still have just as many people do it. I feel like
probably
I paid $40 for a Mickey tie-dye, but poolside that I get to make myself, right?
Yeah, 100%. Or a drum making set that was from 3:30 to 4:30. And then you have things that are, still free, which is Movie Under the Stars, Campfire from 6:30 to 7:30, Pineapple Social at 8 p.m. And, that some Purple Martin experience. So just fun things that is still like quote unquote free or included in your stay at Caribbean.
And like I say, the Movies Under the Stars is over on Castaway Key. That's a little, or I'm not Castaway Key. Caribbean Key. Castaway Key is the cruise line.
Yes.
Caribbean Key. It's a little island right there in the middle of the water. We actually cut through it when we were on our way to Old Port Royale. This little island is awesome. It's got a really good kids playground. It has little like huts throughout that have 2 Adirondack chairs and a table between them where like I could see going and sitting in the morning and having your coffee, or sitting and watching the sunset in the evening with a cocktail or beer or wine or something. And then the movie location overlooks the water heading towards Riviera. It is green turf. And then it's got all these pool chairs set up, and they'll inflate the screen right there. Basically, you're looking over the water. It's a really, really good spot.
It is.
I think, for the movies.
And now that it is a moderate, they actually do play a movie every single night. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We passed by the other night on Friday, and it was Raya and the Last Dragon. They have Fox and the Hound, Allison. It just depends, but
And these rotate monthly.
They do.
But this will be all month long. So if you were staying for 2 weeks, you'd catch the same movie twice. So we knew we were going to hang by the pool. We knew we were going to hit up Banana Cabana. Our friend JoJo is on leave currently. Has been for a little bit. Not sure when she's coming back. And it's so funny. I was saying to Rhonda this morning, I was like, we stopped by all of our spots and none of the folks that we know were working.
Which is crazy.
Which ended up being great because we made a lot of new cast member friends, I think. One of those being Caleb with a K.
With a K.
The bartender at Banana Cabana.
Yeah,
he
awesome.
was amazing.
Yeah.
He was so freaking awesome. So we started off with some drinks. I got their Tropical Island iced tea. This is vodka. It's got a dragonberry rum, gin. It's got tequila. It's got sweet and sour, Coca-Cola for $16.50. It's your Long Island iced tea, basically. Just a little more of a tropical version. Very, very good. What did you start with? Dirty?
Yes.
So you got dirty martini.
He could make it. And then while we were kind of standing there, all of a sudden, we see a friendly face, but she is definitely in the clothes to be working, and it was Kiyomi Gross.
Yeah.
So that was amazing.
We didn't know she had moved there. She only moved there like a month and a
idea.
half ago. And just we looked up, and I think like, yeah, because I saw her first and she saw me, but I think both of us paused for a second, like, wait, what's happening right now?
Yeah, it was crazy. We were like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was really great to get to catch up with her.
It was so great seeing her. And
yeah, and you know, Banana Cabana is such a perfect pool bar, you know, and we did both where we sat there and hung out for a little bit, but we also got things and took them back to our seats and all. What is one of the specialty beverages that is currently being featured that you got, which is geared for the little ones?
Yes. So it is the Little Mermaid Bubbles of the Sea. It is Gold Peak Sweet Green Tea, lemon juice, pineapple, guava topped with boba pearls, and a splash of shimmer for $6.99. That was really good.
It really was. It's super sweet.
It is, and I didn't think it was going to be that sweet because of the lemon juice, but I think it just was a little too much. Yeah, I think it was a little too much sweet, but it's okay. It was good. It was really good.
Yeah, that was delicious. Rob and Tina were really hungry. They were ready to eat, so they had immediately ordered the
pull apart?
Cuban.
Oh,
so they got the Cuban that you love. We've talked about before.
So good.
And then they got the Caribbean pull apart rolls that come with that guava butter and onion jam for $12.
Mm-hmm.
Those I like. That's one of those things that I forgot exactly how incredible it is.
Yeah.
Both the guava butter and the onion jam. It's like a bacony onion jam that goes on these, and it's salty but it's sweet, and then these rolls are just like melt in your mouth, soft and tender and flaky because they pull apart. So we sat by the pool and ate this to start, and some fries and all, and it was delicious.
Yes.
I wasn't starving, so I had like one of those. They ate and all, and then I ended up getting pretty hungry, so I went back and I ordered the jerk chicken sandwich, which I had not had here before.
Okay.
It was fabulous. This is a toasted ciabatta, grilled pineapple, and roasted chili mayonnaise served with french fries for $16. Of course, chicken breast on there. I got it as is with the roasted chili mayonnaise. It was very light.
Nice.
It tasted good. The ciabatta on this was so soft.
Yeah, it looked it.
Perfect.
Nice.
Like, I like ciabatta a lot, but I like ciabatta a lot. But often it can be hard to chew almost, you know what I mean? It's almost hard to bite because it's kind of dense and all.
Right.
This was so good. And it was just perfect to sit by the poolside and eat this because, we wanted to get some food in us. But again, that ended up kind of being our lunch plan pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So weather was kind of on and off, you know, this is the time of year where we see a lot of times where people ask us, we see it in the Facebook groups or people reach out to us personally and they say, I just looked and it says 60% chance of rain every day on my trip. What do I do? Like, it's going to rain.
Yeah.
Usually, though, it's going to be those afternoon showers. You can usually expect it around 3 or 4. Might be a little overcast throughout the rest of the day, but just bet on that. And that's the period we're in now.
Yep.
So we made out really, really well, though, with the weather on Friday.
Yes, we did because, well, first of all, it showed there wasn't supposed to rain, which it totally did. But we at this point went back.
Yeah, we went back to the room
to get ready,
to change, shower up, change. And now at this point, the plan was that I had, we originally had dinner plans at Ale and Compass. And then I was just kind of thinking, I'm like, you know, Rob and Tina come maybe every 2 years. This might become a yearly thing now, I think we were talking about, but you know, they come about every 2 years or so. Like, we really want to show them around. Like, they're probably never going to be pass holders, and they're never going to fall in love with Disney the way we have. But a part of me was like, I want to just show them how much there is to offer other than just the theme parks. Like, I want to go to our favorite places, and hopefully they'll meet some of our friends, and hopefully they'll just kind of be like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I totally get this. So of course I was like, we can go to Bar Riva, and then we can skyline over to the boardwalk.
Mm-hmm.
We could do dinner at Ale and Compass. We'll hit Abracadbar beforehand. And then I was like, you know what? Let's get over to Springs. So I canceled Ale and Compass, and I booked for CityWorks, Poorhouse, simply because it has the biggest range of menu.
Correct.
It's one of those where, like, we were talking about
like a Cheesecake
Splitsville.
Factory.
Yeah, they were talking about Splitsville recently. Like,
Right.
You want pizza? They have it. You want tacos? They have it. You want a burger? Go for it. You want whatever. Fish? Okay. They've got it all. So that was the plan. Then Rob and Tina were just like, we really don't care. And I was like, okay. I said, let's just cancel it because we had a 2-hour window. And I was like, we'll just kind of find our way and see what happens for the most part.
Well, we were at Bar Riva first,
Yeah.
and we were having some drinks, and then that's when the storm just blew through and like stormed. So
Yes.
again, we were kind of hungry. So of course, we got the mushroom arancini, which is risotto, mushrooms, cheese, truffle, and served with a house-made marinara for $12.99. We got the bruschetta salad.
No, burrata salad.
Burrata salad,
Yeah.
sorry. Served with heirloom tomatoes, fresh pesto, and focaccia bread for $15.99.
And we've done these before.
Yep.
They're newer menu items. We've talked about them
Yes,
before.
we have.
But I want to go from the point a little bit that Rob and Tina both loved these.
Yeah.
And what is so good about the arancini, as I've started to say recently, I'm getting a like for the flavor of mushrooms. I don't like
It's earthy.
the texture and the squishiness sometimes. And
Squishy.
so now our friend Marcy is not working Friday and Saturdays anymore, so we knew we weren't going to see her. I already knew that ahead of time. Ken was off. Adam is no longer there that we know, and of course Chris has moved on. He's over at Narcoossee's and all. So we did get to meet Tyler and Ivan, and they were both awesome.
Nice.
They were wonderful. In fact, I asked for an old fashioned. They had the Knob Creek Resort Select, and Tyler said, "Do you want it with regular bitters or we have chili bitters?" I was like, I'll do chili bitters. And it was amazing. So thank you, Tyler.
Nice.
But yeah, they absolutely loved the mushroom
they did.
arancini. And then Tina's just so funny because she's like, the burrata salad comes out. She's like, what's burrata? And like, what is this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's kind of like just a softer like mozzarella for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And she absolutely loved it. This burrata salad can either be a wonderful appetizer that you can split, or it eats like a meal because there's a bunch of pieces of bread in there. You have the arugula, you've got tomato, like vine ripened, delicious tomato, both larger ones cut into like slices, and then you have the small halved, multicolored
and some
tomatoes.
kind of candy tomato, like
Yeah,
thing.
what was that gummy
don't know.
tomato thing?
I don't know. It was fantastic.
It was so good.
It really was.
I love this dish so very, very much. This is one where I do wonder, I'm sure they could do it if you could say like, could I get like sliced grilled chicken breast to go with it or something and truly eat it like an
I
entire
wonder
meal?
if you could. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It would be delicious. But I just wanted to mention that they loved them, even though we've tried these before. But move on because the weather was finally letting up, and we watched. I was texting with Daniel Miller, Professor Leisure, Drunk at Disney, who wrote the Drinking at Disney book, because he was, I believe his wife is out of town, so his adventures have been fun to watch for a couple days. And they're actually, I think, staying at All Star. And he was like, hey, we're thinking about coming over to Caribbean Beach or something. I was like, cool, let me know and we'll meet up. And I texted him back and forth about 10 times, like, Skyliner's not working. And then 15 minutes later, I was like, it's back running. Because that was going to really be dependent on what they did. And then 20 minutes later, I texted him, I'm like, it's back down. And it's up again. So I don't think they ever ended up making it over, but it did finally clear up. So, so then what was our plan from there?
Well,
I don't even know that we had one.
So I believe our plan was to go over to, we're going to skyline over to the boardwalk. We were going to have a drink at Abracadbar, and then we were going to bus over to Springs and eat at
CityWorks.
CityWorks.
Okay, so we were still planning to eat there at that point, correct? Yeah.
Yes. So we go to Abracadbar, and our awesome waitress Ashley was amazing.
She was outstanding.
She really was.
She's one of the best wait staff we've ever had.
Yeah,
she was just good, and she was funny and like a little sarcastic, and they tend to get that at Abracadbar. It's one of those places that they kind of play a role.
Yeah.
So it was so good. And Rob and Tina had been to Abracadbar.
Yes.
I'd completely forgot. So I'm like, oh, we're going to show them this cool place they've never been. And they're like, yeah, we've been here, dude.
We
With
sat
you
over there.
guys. We sat right over
Yep.
there. And they used to have little fish fingers, little
Mhm.
fried fish and fries. And that's what we got.
Well, speaking of that, they were hungry again. So we were going to get some food. But then unfortunately, Ashley did tell us that Trattoria is being refurbed.
Mhm.
So that we couldn't get any food right now.
Yeah. Which I could have
you
sworn that they used to use.
Mhm.
I thought they shared. I thought they
Flying
used
Fish.
Flying Fish's kitchen.
Right. So Flying Fish was open and so I went over there to see if we could do the walk-up bar, and they said, yeah, it'd be about an hour. So meanwhile, I'm a little tired. So what do? When I'm tired, I get an espresso martini, and they could do one because it was not on the menu, I believe.
No, it was not.
And it was fantastic.
Yeah.
So good. Again, I feel like I haven't had a really bad one, but really good.
Don't worry, we're going to get to bad martinis here in just a little bit.
And then, of course, I told Tina she should try Pepper's Ghost, which is
Lucy recommended her favorite drink on
Yes.
property. Our good friend Lucy that we've
Yep.
had on the episodes plenty of
Yep.
times.
So, of course, this is pineapple vodka and a habanero lime for $15.50. Tina loved it.
Mhm.
She thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. I went with the Black Manhattan.
Okay.
This is Bullet Rye Whiskey, Amara Averna, and Orange Bitters for $15.50. Absolutely loved it. I'm starting to get my whiskey legs. Actually, that's not a good thing to have. You just
No.
would fall over. But I really did enjoy it. And then we were getting ready to. Rob kept joking because there was a $400 whiskey on there.
Oh, my goodness.
And they had picked up the tab at Bar Riva. So Rhonda's like, all right, well, we're going to get the tab at Abracadbar. So Rob's like, well, then I'm getting the $400 whiskey. And like we kept joking with
Yeah.
Ashley about it. So then you were getting ready to pay. And I was like, oh, do you guys have the Knob Creek Select Disney Resort or Select? She
Mhm.
goes, yeah, we do. And I was like, you want one, Rob? And he's like, I don't know. So I was like, all right, let's do a 2-ounce pour of each. So we got 2 of them.
Mhm.
Each have. Rob got his over and she asked, do you want it neat or do you want it over the big ice cube?
Right.
And so Rob was like, I'll get mine over the big ice cube. And I said I'd have mine neat
Correct.
with nothing else in it. And Rob is a trooper because he did finish it, but I don't know that he enjoyed it.
I don't think so. It
At
was
all.
very funny.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yes. I mean, that's like me, though. I don't like it.
Right. No,
So-
I'm trying to find one that you like,
Yeah.
and we haven't gotten there
Not
yet.
really.
But yeah, so we went ahead and checked out there. So what point? So
Well, I went back up to the walk-up list, and to make a really long story short,
we'd already canceled City Work now at this point,
we
right?
did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we were coming in that 2-hour window, and we wanted to make
Correct.
sure we didn't get charged.
And we were going to eat, we thought, at Flying Fish at the bar.
Yeah.
So then, unfortunately, like things were just taking too long and they were getting hungry.
Mhm.
So we were like, okay, well, let's just move on and go to the Springs and figure something
Figure it out from there. Yeah.
Because we already canceled.
Yeah,
So
And to be honest, at this point, I was looking at, I wasn't looking at the walk-up list yet, but even just looking at general reservations, there was a lot available all day. Like we weren't going to have an issue getting there, I think, and finding somewhere that we could have sat down
which
with
we
a
thought,
last minute. Well, yeah, we thought with a last minute reservation
Right.
or potentially a walk-up list. So we headed to Springs
on the bus.
and there was a blowout. Not of the bus.
Well, Rob stepped on the back of Tina's poor shoe and it broke.
Yeah.
So thank God they were Sanooks, and we went into Havana's, and then I said there is a Sanook here, so she went and got some new shoes. But they were also trying to figure out where to go, so we look at going to Boathouse because Tina loves the Boathouse rolls and everything. Excuse me. So we go up there to sit at the bar, and I mean, there's people everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Springs was flipping
It was.
packed.
It was
Packed.
insane. Absolutely insane. So we're starting to be
So-
like, oh no,
Yeah.
I've
So
made a huge mistake.
we actually
We have no
go.
plans.
Yeah. So we actually go to the Hangar bar.
Yeah, Jock Lindsey's.
Yeah.
Not so packed, especially outside in the little boat.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Yep. So we go there to get, a couple of drinks and share an appetizer. And so of course,
What do I get?
well, you get some Air Pirates Mule.
Yeah, I get the Air Pirates Mule. This is,
Which-
again, the Knob Creek Disney Select single barrel. Lime juice and a Fever Tree ginger beer for $16.50.
How'd you like that?
I really enjoyed it.
I thought you said you would never do a mule again with bourbon.
No,
so
100%
said that.
better with vodka.
Okay.
But it had that ginger has this refreshing flavor.
Okay.
I still think, again, I still think this is something you would potentially like, but I'm never getting you on whiskey.
I think
bourbon.
I tasted it and it wasn't awful, but
Yeah.
I'm like,
No, I prefer it 100%.
Okay.
Like a regular mule.
I could have sworn
100% a regular
I'm
mule,
never
but
having
I
another
didn't.
bourbon mule.
Oh, I probably wouldn't, but I liked it, but it wasn't. Yes, I would not do that again as a mule.
Okay.
But I didn't hate it.
Okay.
We were all about air pirates, to be honest.
Yeah. So we also got the Air Pirate pretzel, which is a giant pretzel with spicy German mustard and beer cheese fondue. Only for $8.
No, so Monday through Friday from 12 to 3 is their happy hour, and this is only $8. I believe the regular price, it's oddly not listed on the website, is probably 12 to 16.
But it comes with all these cheeses and meats and
sliced sausages
It's so good.
and pepperoni and
So
cubes
good.
of meat and this big giant delicious pretzel. So I had posted on Twitter a photo of it, and I was like, it's good to be back and have this and get the second best appetizer on property. And somebody was like, that's your second. What's your first? And I said, of course, the bread service at Sanaa.
Oh yeah.
But I think this is number 2. Not only from flavor and all, but from the shareability.
Yeah,
And,
that's true.
And I love to take a big chunk of the pretzel and open it up and then stuff it with the meats and cheeses and then like almost like a little pretzel sub and then dip it in the beer cheese and eat it that way. It is so, God, this thing is so good.
Yeah. So we were there and I asked, Cherie was our cast member.
She was wonderful.
She was very wonderful. And I asked for a dirty martini. And anytime I do order, I'm always like, vodka, please. And it was funny because I actually ordered one from Caleb going back to
I was just going to mention that. Tell that story.
Yeah,
I loved Caleb. He was so cool and chill. And we found out he actually went to Flagler College right down here in St. Augustine. So that was cool. Like just talking to him about his experience and stuff there because that place is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like it's got to be up there with one of the most beautiful college campuses around. But yeah, you were ordering your martini,
and then
dirty martini from him.
And I almost forgot to say vodka. And I was like, oh, vodka, please. And then he was like telling me that I guess some college girls came up and tried. And a normal dirty martini is made with gin. I don't really prefer gin at all. I just like the vodka. So I always ask for that. So he was kind of laughing that I knew what I was ordering. So
he was basically there's a lot of these like 21-year-olds that come up and they've watched like one too many Sex in the Cities and they just get a dirty martini and have no idea what's in it. And then he makes it the way it's supposed to be made with gin and gives it to them. And they're like, this is disgusting. Like, what did you do?
But you also have to like the olives
juice,
and
yeah.
olive juice. So, cause he's like, do you want it dirty or a little extra dirty?
Mhm.
But, so I ordered from Cherie a dirty martini and it comes out with the olives and let's see, with the color you call it almost like a gold color. It was not.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I would use the word murky.
well,
is normal.
I was just
but-
gonna say, y'all have always like joked about my dirty martinis, and when you look at them normally on a good dirty martini,
every time you ordered
kinda
one and
looks
it came out to you, Rob and Tina both gagged.
well, it's kind of like literally ocean water where it is a little murky, but it should be literally a clear to a. I mean, you just think of putting olive juice in it,
Right,
So, anyways, it came out and it was a different color, and I was like, and I said vodka. And I tasted it, and this thing was awful. Like
I've never seen
awful.
you react to a beverage
It was awful.
like that. Yeah.
It was sad. I took a sip, and then I think I ended up drinking some water, and I think I ended up taking another sip because
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
were like, I can't do
and I'm
this.
like, I can't.
just can't
It's
do it. Yeah.
disgusting. I don't know if it was Jen that was made with it. I don't know.
I
if
sure
it
as
was,
heck wasn't going to taste
Right.
it to find out.
I don't know if it was whatever olive juice stuff, but it was more of a gold color.
Yeah.
So it was sad.
But she was amazing and obviously
sweet.
took it back and,
Took it
and
back,
didn't
took
charge
it
or anything,
off.
of course.
Yep.
So
then at this point, like,
but man, that spot, I will say though, that spot sitting out there on that boat,
it was,
and we were right at the perfect time where the sun was kind of starting to set, and you're overlooking where the amphibicars are going
was neat.
out,
Yep.
and all the hustle and bustle over at Boathouse. Like, Jock Lindsey's is it's one of the best spots on property.
Yeah.
Like this is why we do things like the bracket challenges every year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we could almost do them more than once a year because things change so much. Like I almost want to go back and listen to our last bar bracket challenge and be like, where's Jock Lindsey's? How did he do? Because this place could easily be a contender or a winner. And they have a lot of other great food. Aside from Dirty Martini, we've never had a bad thing there.
Correct.
From experience to cast members to food to drink to big giant ice cubes that they're making there right in front of you in that machine, which was still so cool. And she brought one. I was like, look, I told you they're making them.
Because you didn't believe her.
I did not believe her, but I love that place so much. So when did the decision for dinner come around? What we were finally going to do for dinner?
Honestly, I think after Boathouse, and I think we went to Jock Lindsey's, but we were, I think our final plan was we're going to go to Pizza Ponte. You want pizza? Everybody's like, I want pizza. And I'm like, we're going to Pizza Ponte because I was definitely going to be getting the parm cotta, which is so freaking good. It is Parmesan ham or Parma ham, mozzarella, and ricotta cheese, and it is for $8.25 for a slice. These prices range from $6.95 all the way up to $8.25. So we go over there, and I think it was bad because we were all starving.
Yeah.
So I got 4 pieces. We got the Big Roma, which is your tomato sauce, mozzarella, and cheese for $6.95. That's your cheapest.
Good.
It is.
For just the cheese pizza, this is up
and
there.
It's neat because they're already, out there. They take them and they put them in the oven to warm them up and everything.
When we say per slice, this is what you expect from they're giant slices, and a lot of theirs are squared. A lot of these pizzas are squared, and so the slice is square. And I'm going to venture to say most of them are probably about 5 by 7 inches, maybe maybe like a 6 by 8 inch slice. They're decent enough size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you have other things like pepperoni, of course, a 4 cheese, which I think we didn't get.
I know amongst all of us because we got an order.
We did. Yes.
Rob and Tina ordered as well,
and they did get a 4 cheese.
Yeah, I think we got Big Roman. I think we got 4 cheese. I think we got the Parma cotta. We got the fungi, which is got forest mushrooms on it, and the San Girano was the one I think I took a couple bites of this morning, cold 2 days later.
No, I think that was the fungi.
Oh, was it?
I think we ate all the San Girano because it is tomato sauce, mozzarella, fontina, sweet Italian sausage, onions, and hot cherry peppers. Yeah. I ate quite a bit of that night. It was fantastic.
All this stuff is so freaking
so good. But they have like sandwiches there. They have
didn't even know
salads.
They had sandwiches. I want to go back and they have a prosciutto sandwich, right?
Yep.
That sounds incredible. They've got one with mortadella, provolone, and a giardiniera. That's like the olive kind of spread stuff. But Pizza Ponte, I would need to do a same time side by side comparison test with Via Napoli. Maybe because it's so fresh and we've had it more often, I think Pizza Ponte is the best pizza on property. But again, I would literally need to do a side by side. Like I would love to go to Pizza Ponte and get a slice, and then go over to Epcot and go into Via Napoli and get a pizza, and then literally try them side by side. But this place is legit.
Well, it's good.
Maybe we should have done the $100 gift card because we came back with 8 or more entire slices, right?
6, maybe. No, I don't know. I don't think they got 4
they
slices.
Didn't get 4?
I think they got 2.
All right.
But we got 4. And then, like I said, they have salads. They have desserts. And one of the dessert was actually it was called a cookie. And it was like a almond. And I think it was the Pride because it had different colors. So pretty. But to me, it was a cake.
Yeah. Because we just brought some home. And Lacey's like, what's this? And I was like, it's a cookie. And she was like, that's not a cookie. Like,
yeah.
It's like a cookie cake. It's like a crumble cookie.
Maybe, but it was really good. It had almond in it. It was really fantastic. I really liked it.
I did not try any.
You didn't?
No, I never tried any. But what I did eat was half a slice of the 4 cheese pizza Saturday morning, cold, and it was amazing.
That's good. It was.
I love pizza.
So
Ponte.
then after this, we carried it back, which is hysterical because carrying it back was like 8 pounds of pizza we carried back.
And I know you're exaggerating, but you're not that far off from exaggerating.
It was a lot.
It was ridiculous. But it was one of those like, it was just one of those perfect days.
Yeah.
For not really having a plan. Again, our entire plan was like, all right, we're gonna hang by for a pool for a little bit, and then we'll go from there and figure it out.
Yeah.
And we did, and we just had such a good time. It was so much fun.
Yep.
So much so that we are going to end this episode now.
Mm-hmm.
We've got plenty to come.
Because we went back and we're getting ready for a good night's sleep for tomorrow. Going to
I'm going to have to be up early. We will talk about Cosmic Rewind.
Mm-hmm.
We will talk about Space 220 Bar.
Woo!
We will talk about a Topolino's Bar.
Yes.
We'll talk about Vertical Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody who's going Vertical Horizon, I don't know any of their songs. If you're over the age of 35, you do. Trust me.
Yep.
So you can go check them out, look them up if you don't know. But yeah, we will talk about more Banana Cabana. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We had a good weekend with our friends.
We did.
It was super cool. And I think we might make this a yearly tradition of leaving our children at home to enjoy Father's Day weekend. But we got home today around lunchtime and got to see the girls. They both got me wonderful presents. Yep. I got this incredible Yzma shirt that is like, it says something about like, what does it say?
Potions.
I can't remember the potions, like brews the perfect potions. It's very, very cool. But make sure you tune in to Friday's episode where we will go ahead and wrap this up.
Yes.
And then, hit subscribe so you can get these episodes every Tuesday and Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, we would be super duper thankful if you could leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.